What up, everyone? How's it going? Right, we are doing TryHackMe again. So we're doing day 21, Advent of Cyber. We've got needles in computer stacks. Grinch Enterprises have been very sneaky this year, using multiple attack vectors, both known and unknown, to wreak havoc across the best festival company. It's 9 days from Christmas and there's still so much work to do. McBlue, the only technical person, has suggested using automation and tooling to detect malicious files in the network. Can you work with him to remove any malicious files from the network? We're going to learn about Yara rules. What's the basic structure of a Yara rule? How to write basic Yara rules and how Yara rules are read. Let's turn this down a little bit more. Bruh. That's manageable. So, introduction. Yara is a multi-platform tool for matching patterns of interest in malicious files. It was created by Victor Alvarez from VirusTotal. It's used to perform research on malware files and identify malware with similar patterns. It can help in categorizing malware in different malware families and also used as a detection aid for malware analysis. Yara rules are widely used in the industry for the above-mentioned purposes. There are various open-source repositories of Yara rules, shared by different organizations and people that can be leveraged by the security community in their fight against malware. This GitHub repository contains links to lots of open-source repositories. So, awesome Yara. A curated list of awesome Yara rules, tools and resources inspired by awesome Python and awesome PHP. We've got some Alien Vault ones. Binary Alert Burp. ESET. FireEye. McAfee. Sophos, Spider Labs. Yeah, quite a few. Syntax. Basic syntax of a Yara rule is as follows. Rule name, and then what looks like a kind of like a JSON string. It's more like Python syntax though, with indentation. We can see that the rule starts with the word rule, followed by the name of the rule. This indicates the start of the rule. We discuss the different sections of the rule below. Among these, the Metadata Section uses keyword meta, that bit, as discussed at the end, because it's an optional section. As the name suggests, this section is all about the strings that you want to match in a Yara rule. We define strings as if we will define variables. So a string's declaration starts with a $sign. So $text string is text. Followed by the name we wish to assign the string. In the above example, we've defined two strings as text string and hex string. That's what I just said. As the names of the string signify, strings can be text strings or hex strings. Text strings are strings found in legible text portions of a file. However, hex strings are raw sequences of bytes in a file. To define text strings, we use double quotes. Yeah. And to define hex strings, we'll use curly braces. An implementation of this can be seen in the example rule above. Text strings can also use regular expressions or regex for more complex pattern matching. The condition section defines the conditions that the rule writer wants to meet in order for the rule to hit on a file. Conditions are Boolean expressions, and they use the strings defined in the string section as variables. For example, in the example above, we use the AND operator between the two strings. This means that the rule will hit if it identifies the hex string anywhere in the file and the text string of the text. There is no other condition in this rule. The most commonly used operators are AND, OR, and NOT. The AND operator returns true when all the conditions are true, the OR operator returns when any are true, and the NOT operator returns if the given condition is false. In the case of strings, AND will be true when the file contains all of the strings that are part of the condition, OR will be true when the file contains any of the strings, and NOT will be true when it doesn't match any string. The following table illustrates what each of the operators will be true. Okay, yeah. I mean, this is just basic data logic. Conditions can be much more complex than the ones mentioned above, but for the sake of brevity, we will not go into further detail in this task. Metadata. Metadata is an optional but important section in the rule. It starts with the keyword meta, and it can be used as an additional information about the rule to help the analyst in their analysis. Generally, it contains arbitrarily defined identifiers and their values, which are universally understood. For example, in our example rule above, we use the identifiers author, description, and created. So you've got meta, just who made it, test description, and created date. These identifiers are easy to understand in the type of information they are providing. Adding metadata to rules is especially important when contributing to the community, as they provide important contextual information and attribution for the rule. Writing your own rules. With the basic introduction out the way, we can write some of our own rules. So far we've understood that the rule basically consists of strings definition section and a condition section. The string section will define the strings that we want to use in the rule, and the conditions section will define the conditions that we want to apply to those strings. Lastly, we can add any additional information in the metadata section. To start writing a rule, start the machine attached to the task. Once the machine has started, click on the TryHackMe logo on the top left corner in the search bar. Write Skite, or how the hell do you pronounce that? Site. It must be site. Select the relevant icon and open the site text editor. You can open any other text editor of your choice as well. Now using the knowledge gained from the task, let's write the rule. We will write a rule that matches some strings from ICAR antivirus test file that we learned in yesterday's task. The file is placed on the desktop on the machine with the name test file. The following screenshot shows our demo rule for detecting a few strings found in the ICAR test file. Right, so let's do that before we run ahead. I need to start the machine. This is going to be a side-by-side one again, I guess it is. Yeah. I'm going to use my own tool if it lets me, copy it across. I should have started this ages ago. It takes ages. Gonna need to download the iCar file, as I'm assuming it comes baked in. Right, so it's on the desktop with the name test file. Okay, so it's there. We got site on here. Okay, so that's the iCar file. And got a rule set up. Right. Oh, come on, you must have directional copy paste on here. Alright, let's type it in. So, rule, iCar, Yara. Letter. Author. So the things it's looking for are X50, iCar, antivirus, test, condition, A and B and C and D. Where does it want it? It wants it. It's on the desktop. iCar Yara. Okay. To run the rule, let's get terminal. Yara doesn't tell you what options to put. Giving options here is optional. If we run the command as it is, it will return the name. Alright, so just Yara. Okay, Yara. Test file. It's got to be on the desktop. Nothing? That should work right. Maybe those spaces matter. The fuck? The fuck? That should work right. I did on my one. I don't have it installed. When the rule is a miss, its output will look like this. So yeah, I've obviously missed the rule, but surely that should work. Author TryHackMe. I mean, X50's there, iCar's there, antivirus and test are there, so that should match. We can use the M option for Yara to return the metadata when the rule is hit. Maybe this isn't tabbed, maybe it's got to be spaces. Yeah, I don't get that. That should... let's change clipboard. I don't get how that's different. Like, yeah, that worked. Like a double space there or something. Christ knows. Right, so we got it working. Let's try the -m. Now we get the meta. Output here shows the rule that matched. That was the -s. So S matches the strings. Cool. There are identifiers and the location in the file. Notice that the screenshot contains 3 of the 4 strings that we wrote in the rule. Does it? Mine passed them all. This is because we modified the rule before running the command so that one of the strings doesn't appear in the file. When did we do that? Hence we'll only see strings that appear in the test file. We don't need to see ones that don't match. Yeah, I don't think this lab is particularly well made. For the sake of brevity, again, we'll touch upon the basics of Yara rules and the task. Capable of doing a lot more complex pattern matching than what we touched here. If you're interested in learning about the rules, try the Yara room. You can also check out Yara documentation. Have a look at several community written rules, get an idea of the type of Yara rule written by the community. We've deployed the machine. You should be able to visible split view. Okay, so what are the questions it wants for today? We changed the text in the string A from x50 to x50. Okay, so I must have done it myself then. If we replace the letter O with a 0, condition for the R rule A, B, C, and D. If we are to only make a change to the first Boolean operator in the condition, what Boolean shall we replace the AND with in order for it to still hit? Or what dumb question? There's only one of those operators that will fit a 2-character thing anyway. Option is used in the Yara command in order to list down the metadata -m. What section contains information about the author? What do they mean by that? Like, I mean, they mean the author tab, surely, but it'll be metadata author. What? Do they mean what's the author name? No. This doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, what are they on about? Information about the author of the Yara rule. Well, it's there. What option is used to print only rules that didn't hit? What do I mean here? Check the Yara documentation link for further reading to find the answer. Does not equals. Right. It's the... No. XOR. Print rules that don't hit. Yeah, I don't get what you're supposed to put in these ones. Like, that's author. If that's the question, what section contains information about the author? It's metadata, unless they actually want metadata. Yeah. Fucking dumb. Like, stupid question. What option is used to print only rules that didn't hit? I did this one. The one that prints matching string, print not matching string. Print not satisfied rules. There you go. -n. Change the Yara rule value for the $A string to x50. Rerun the command, but this time with C. What is the result? I think we automatically fix this without doing it because my rule matched. One. Where's it? L? No. I mean, that is the result. Zero. Cool. Yeah, that was a bit long-winded. Kind of get the gist of it. The questions were done. Like, I was expecting a bit more interesting things here. Like, give you an empty file, like the iCar one, and get you to identify these, and then do the submission. It'd be a lot better. Yeah, that's 21 done.